right. Well, running shoe geeks, here we are for episode 40 of Mr. Rubio Used to Run.
No, Joe.
What?
No, we're number 41.
Oh, 41. Okay.
We can't be messing up the numbers.
Well, sorry about that, people. I know you're on the edge of your seat on that one. But, Mr. Rubio Used to Run, the Running Warehouse podcast. This is my associate, Connor Blaylock. I'm Joe Rubio, the guy who used to run, although I did actually run this morning.
Ooh.
Yes, I had to take the last week off because I decided I wanted to get in shape. So I started doing some fartlek runs, and I got tendonitis in my big toe.
That seems to be a trend with you. Anytime you add any sort of mileage or any sort of intensity,
I break.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was an odd injury in the sense that I thought I might have gout. And I'm trying to figure out why I had gout because I hadn't eaten shellfish. I wasn't drinking any red wine. Anyway. So I started reading, self-diagnosing on the internet. And
which is never a good thing.
No, never a good thing. But I've had gout once, and that was a result of a lot of shellfish and a lot of red wine. But in this case, I couldn't figure. I don't think I have gout. And then I started reading the things, and it's like inflamed, and it hurts like all the time, especially if something just barely touches it, like a sheet. And that wasn't the case in but when I wore shoes, walking around barefoot, no problem. Wearing socks, not a problem. But wearing shoes was a problem. Yeah. So I suffered not really suffered. It was just uncomfortable for a couple days. Couldn't run. And I said, okay, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to take a pair of shoes, and I have them on right now. I'm going to take a shoe.
Take that off.
Okay, hold on.
We're in a very tight room right now, so this is definitely going to be a very pleasant experience.
So like most of the people listening to this, everyone has a lot of running shoes that aren't really running shoes anymore, but you can walk around in them. So what I did was I took this shoe right here and I cut that to relieve the pressure on my big toe.
Right.
And you know what? It worked. So I got a brand new pair of running shoes, and I did the exact same thing.
Because those are not a brand new
pair.
No,
this is an old pair of 1080s that are just nasty. But if you're going to experiment, this is the stuff you experiment.
Yeah.
So back when I was younger, I used to cut up shoes all the time because I was talking to a couple people at the track last night, and they were asking me about cutting what was going on with my shoe, and I told them the story about cutting my shoe. But anyways, back when I was running in the 80s, the heel counters, and I'm talking to George about this. Yeah. George is very inquisitive.
Yes.
Yeah, he has lots of questions.
George is just one of the many
personalities
on our team with the Aggies.
Yeah. So I was explaining that back in the 70s and 80s, originally the running shoes had cardboard heel counters.
Yes.
And they had this funky foam, so there's really no stability features whatsoever. So when you ran in shoes with a cardboard heel counter, it just immediately plopped over, and it was really ineffective. So what they did was overcompensated by making these super rock-hard plastic heel counters. And the problem is some were shaped like a C at the top and would just cut into your Achilles or make what, in my case, my bursa sac would explode. Very, very painful. So you have to cut a really sharp knife and cut around the irritation point. So you have shoes that have holes all in them because you had to self-medicate on this kind of stuff. But anyway, so I have no problem cutting up shoes. So when I tell athletes now, you should cut the shoe, and they just give me a blank look. And they go, well, it's going to ruin the shoe. And I go, what's the big deal? You can't wear the shoe anyways because it's irritating your foot. Anyways, long way of saying I'm running. I ran today for the first time.
Wow.
Gingerly. And when you're 100K into life, 62, 1 week off is brutal. I started feeling like a runner again at the end, but it wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're running, on the other hand.
Yeah.
It's probably going better than my last week.
Yeah, we just continue to chip away. That's the theme week after week, and now we're getting close to starting to race again.
Yeah.
We've got a couple races on deck, but again, everything just leads to December.
Right.
So it's a slow build. You continue to just say, slow down, make sure we just get the volume in. What are you thinking right now in terms of workouts? Is it what you're imagining with a lot of the
like last night, did a workout that I call in and out quarters.
Yeah.
So it's a series of quarters. It's a continuous run. There's a fast quarter and a slow quarter. The thing is, a fast quarter is not super fast, and the slow quarter is not super slow. Yeah. So in the case of your case, it's supposed to be like 10K pace on the fast one and like 20 seconds slower on the slower one.
Yep.
So in the case of Madison, she was doing 85s, which is a minute and 25 seconds, and the recoveries were a minute and 45 seconds, which is not slow. And the faster guys were doing, I would think, 70, 90s. So 70s on the faster ones and 90s on the slower ones. And you did?
And I averaged 78s on the fast and 92s on the off. So
which is right there.
Yeah, and I think what ended up happening was it felt pretty easy. So if anything, I try, and I think you'd agree, don't start going the fast ones too quick.
Yeah.
Maybe just bring the slows a little bit quicker.
Faster, yeah.
And that seems to be a pretty common, when you were fit, would you... How quickly would you do that workout?
Well, it was a series. And I would run a big, long warm-up, like 4-mile warm-up and 4-mile cool-down.
Yep.
And I do 4 miles of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you did how many miles last night?
We did 12 last night total.
12 laps.
12
sets.
Sorry.
6 miles total.
We did 6 miles total, 12 miles for the night. So, yeah.
So 6 miles of this. And then when I would get really fit, it was odd. I was telling Sean that my slow ones, when I got fit, would be about my average mile pace for the marathon coming up. So before the Olympic trials in 96, my last session was running 65 80s. And the 80s, I ended up running 5:20 pace for the marathon in a hilly course. It was really odd. They had a couple other workouts that were the last workouts of the week. So one of them was like a 6-mile run and finished at the dirt track, and ran 300 just like a stride and 100 jog. And invariably, whatever I ran that mile in timed, 300 on, 100 off, would be the pace I would run the marathon. So generally, it's 5:15 to 5:20 pace.
Yeah.
Really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
confidence building.
It's a classic workout.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing it for a very long
Forever.
time. But I think a lot of people who maybe haven't done it, maybe some of our newer athletes, they don't realize that the hard part of that workout really is the offs.
Right.
And most people, they do 400-meter repeats are probably one of the first few workouts you do when you start running. But most people take a jog or a walk on the off. And
exactly.
This is a very active recovery.
Right. And one of the ideas, I've been doing this workout since 1981 when I went to West Valley College. And it's just a pretty standard workout. Primarily came from Oregon, from Dillinger and Bowerman, that sort of things. And it takes different kind of forms. You can do in and out miles. You can do like a Prefontaine version is 30-40s, 30-second 200 followed by 40-second 200. And if you can get through 6 laps of that, you're pretty fit. If you can do 8 laps of it, you're probably in sub 4-minute shape. Anyways, it takes all that kind of, but you're teaching your body to utilize lactate as a fuel source. It's not a very efficient fuel source, and it takes a lot of work to get your body used to it. But once you get used to it, it's a very effective workout. Yeah.
And we'll continue on these workouts.
Yeah.
I know we've got a couple, maybe some in-out miles coming up.
Yeah, that's not this Saturday, but next Saturday. This Saturday, I think it's 2-mile reps with a short recovery, like a minute or 400-meter jog, something like that.
And I've, in these workouts, been using mainly 2 shoes recently,
Right.
the Adios 9 and the Endorphin Elite 2. And I've been mixing them up because I don't want to go all carbon plate shoes, but I really love the Endorphin Elite 2. And the Adios 9 is kind of that little bit lower stack shoe. And I think that's really maybe transitions to our next standpoint.
I was just going to say, speaking of shoes.
Let's get into it. What do we have on deck today?
Well, today's going to be an interesting thing. We're not going to go the best shoes of 2025. We're going to go some of our favorites.
Yes.
And we're going to follow along with our categories that we have on our website. So that if you want to look at it later, you can go back and you say, Rubio and Blaylock are full of crap. They don't know what they're talking about, which is perfectly fine because we already had arguments in the hallway with Jonathan and Eric about this stuff. Anyways.
Well, and I think to preface that, when we say it's hard to make a best shoe right now because there are so many great shoes on the market in each category, and everyone is different. So just between me and you, we're going to have some slight variability.
Slight variabilities. But the other thing is by going through the different categories have there's a purpose for each one. And what really annoys me is last night I was looking at, to get ready for this, I was looking at YouTube. And the vast majority of people that do this stuff on YouTube say this is the best shoe of 2025. And I remember specifically, I'm not going to point this out, this person said the Evo SL is the best shoe of 2025. I would agree it's a fantastic shoe.
Yes.
It's great, like unbeatable if you're a high school kid running cross country, or you're a college kid on a budget and running cross country, or you're running a variety of different paces. You're running long, you're running short, you're running easy, you're running intervals, you're running hill reps, you're running tempo runs, and you maybe run a race in it. That's great. But what if you just get out off the couch, your doctor says you need to start going for a walk,
Yes.
and your BMI is pretty high?
Yeah.
What do? Is that the right shoe for you? No.
We're all on different stages of our running journey,
Right.
and what one shoe is good for one person is
It's not even within the same person.
Yeah.
You have different shoes for different purposes.
Yes.
Like you like the more. Now, are you going to the track last night and running in the more? No, you're not. But you Endorphin Pro, right? Too.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing your Sunday runs in?
No.
I mean, you have different things for different purposes. So
Yeah.
that's what we're going to try to go through here right now. And
Yeah.
what I'll do is just give you a Reader's Digest, a foundation of the different categories, a quick explanation, and
Yeah.
then we'll go into detail on each
And
one.
also with these categories that you're about to dive
Yeah.
into, I think it's worth noting that we've always had categories on our site, but this is going to be like our most refined. This is our latest categories that we're sticking with. This is what we really truly feel defines like each section and each experience that a runner might find.
Right. And, when I was growing up in the early days of running warehouse even, everything was neutral and stability and motion control. And if you go online, you look at YouTube, there is no such discussion whatsoever. It has to do with super shoes. It has to do with performance trainers. It has to do with daily trainers and that sort of thing. So that's the basic format it takes. And in our case, we have 3 different pillars. One is daily trainers, one is performance trainers, and one is super shoes. So daily trainers is your bread and butter, right? Performance trainers is kind of straddles between daily trainers and super shoes are super shoes, right? They're maximum speed, meant to go fast, not meant for anything else but just to rip, right? So in daily trainers, we have 4 different categories, subcategories of daily trainers. We have standard, premium, max cushion, and energetic. So starting with standard, and standard is what I would say the franchise models.
Yes.
These are like the Ghost, the Adrenaline, the 2000, the Cumulus, the Ride, the Guide, the 860, 880. Those are the shoes that if you have never run before, it's what you think a running shoe looks like. It's not the max height.
These are not going to have all the bells and whistles. They're not going to usually have the latest, greatest technology.
Right.
They're a fairly safe shoe. They're going to do the job. They're reliable. A lot of times, several of the shoes in this category have been around for a long time, so they're trusted.
Right. They're trusted. And if you're just starting out and you're doing a little bit like running and jogging and walking and that sort of thing, these are fantastic. And this is what my stereotype of someone who's using a running shoe to walk in. Generally speaking, this is the type of shoe they're looking at. More of a traditional look.
Yeah.
It's not traditional height because every shoe is taller than it used to be, but it's definitely lower than a max cushion shoe.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The stack height of this shoe is actually what we would have used to consider a high cushion shoe, but everything is moving higher. So relatively on the scale, they do tend to be a little bit lower than a lot of the premium or max cushion
Right, and
shoes.
the price on these is going to be in the 140 to 160 range. Just down and dirty, very good shoes, very reliable, very dependable, very not exciting.
Yeah.
What are your picks in this category?
So there's a few.
Yeah.
I think we started off with the shoe that is just the most obvious choice in this category, the Ghost 17. The Ghost has been just that reliable go-to shoe in our retail store, online. It's just whenever someone comes to me and say, I need a first shoe, I need something that's going to do the job, the Ghost does
is
it.
great. Yeah, it's a very good choice.
Great fit.
Yeah.
They've upgraded the foam to the DNA Loft V3 recently. It just has everything you need, and I think when you put it on your foot, whether you've got a real wide foot, a real narrow foot, it just does a really good job of adapting, and it's kind of a home run.
Yeah. One of my choices is the Vomero 18, Nike Vomero 18. I mean, it's $155. Excellent foam, lightweight, great looking shoe, super comfortable. It might be a little bit narrow in the forefoot, but it is a fantastic shoe. And, for that price, it brings a lot to the table.
Yes, and that's what I'd say in this standard category. This is probably going to be the most exciting shoe. Like if I was to pick a shoe, Vomero 18 would be. You've got the mix of the Zoom X React foam, so you got like the high-end foam mixed with a little bit more stable foam, so you get a more fun feel. You get a good amount of cushioning, real smooth. Nike was gone for so long
And they're back
in the daily training space, and now it's hard to count all the great daily trainers they have.
Yeah, it's really good. In fact, the shoe that I cut up this morning to go for a run was a Vomero 18.
Yeah.
The other shoe that I have in here, just to give a nod to the stability people, there's not a lot of stability shoes out there.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in the daily training category. In the standard daily trainer, I have the 2014, ASICS 2014.
Yeah.
Solid. It's not over the top, but that category is... It's boring.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Adrenaline, you have the Arahi, you have the 2000 version 14.
Yep.
And out of those three, if I was picking one, it'd be the 2014.
Yeah, I mean, and all those shoes, their stability, but they've a lot of them have moved away from that classic stability feel. Right. So I'd say most of those shoes you just named, even if you are a neutral runner, you can probably run in them just because they're so inherently stable, but they're not necessarily utilizing a real stiff medial posting.
Yeah, to give you a frame of reference, back in the 80s, I had to run in motion control shoes. And I'm not that big of a guy, so running in the Vomero, which is technically a neutral shoe, it does a trick. Yeah. Like I'm not getting plantar fasciitis or anything like that in it.
Yeah.
Do you have any more picks in this category?
I mean, I think we'll just go with probably one of our best sellers. Yes, again, not the most exciting shoe, but the Clifton 10. I mean, it's been around for so long. I honestly think that there is room for this shoe to upgrade the foam a little bit. They still have the CMEVA, but what I do like about the Clifton 10 is they've been building the stack heights up a little higher, so it feels very cushioned. In the Hoka line, you've kind of got the Hoka Clifton and the Hoka Bondi as those.
That's like 80% of their sales.
Yes.
That's what makes Hoka. And I think my hesitation with that shoe is it's just dated. It looks old.
And that's why I hesitate to bring it up, but I feel like you can't not because of just the volume we do in it.
And it's a safe shoe and people just go back to it. It's not going to disappoint. But if you compare that from my perspective, if you compare that to Vomero's just a better looking, better experience overall.
I'll add two more wild cards. We don't need to go too deep into them, but I think it makes sense as brands that maybe don't get as much of attention, but the Puma Velocity Nitro 4 and the Salomon Aero Blaze. Both of those shoes utilizing really amazing foams. The Aero Blaze, I mean, that shoe, I think Salomon, no one really thinks of them as road shoes. And now with these new Aero lines, I would tell a lot of people, try them on because the foam really does feel great for the value at $140.
Right. It's just hard to get people to try Salomon on.
The biggest issue.
Right. And yeah, I would agree, with Puma. Puma makes some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I would think my knock on Puma is just the fact that they all look really similar.
Yeah.
But they make some really good stuff.
And if you're looking for something a little bit lower stack, I mean, the Puma is going to come in at $34.24.
Right.
So at $34, I mean, that's still relatively is a
right.
good amount for all your daily training, but it's a lot lower than the other shoes we talked about. So if you want something maybe a little bit more natural feeling with a nice poppy midsole, Velocity.
Cool. And if you're looking for something with a similar type of feel, but a nicer upper, this is what we'd call a premium daily trainer.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd say not only just a nicer upper, but these shoes tend to have a little bit more stack than the standard, more innovation.
Yeah.
But
they're just nicer shoes.
Yes.
Right. But they're not over the top more expensive, but you're looking at probably 160 to 180 range.
Yes.
So it's the next step up. But generally speaking, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody comes into this is just fictional. Somebody will say, my mom's best friend is going to come in. Can you help her?
Yeah.
And I would say the number one shoe that I suggest still right now is an ASICS Nimbus 27. Mm-hmm. It's a slam dunk. It's every time I've encouraged someone in the building to get it, they're never disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't even think it's necessarily like, oh, this has to be for a certain type of runner, because I've seen beginners and myself, it's probably the shoe I logged the most miles in over the past year.
Right.
It's got so much cushioning. It's soft. The foam really works well. They've got the pure gel, so they've moved away from that external gel, moved it inside the shoe, so it's lighter, softer. It's a good shoe.
The upper's plush. It's a good-looking shoe. It's just it's a slam dunk.
Yeah.
The other one I have, from my perspective, is the new Vomero Plus. Nike's done a really good job with that. I also have the New Balance 1080 version 14.
Yeah.
And on the stability side, the Asics Kayano 32.
Yeah. All of those great. I'll say the Vomero Plus, as good as the Vomero 18 is, once I tried on the Vomero Plus, it was almost hard for me to go back to the standard version because the premium was so nice. Full-length ZoomX foam. Maybe it's not... I think we always try to preface this. ZoomX can come in very different forms. So the ZoomX in the Vomero Plus is going to be a TPEE, a little bit more stable and not as light as what you might see in the racing shoe, but it still offers a really nice experience. And yeah, I'd say Nimbus is going to be more my long cruiser. But the Vomero is, in my opinion, a little bit more fun shoe.
Yeah, it's a great shoe. I mean, Nike's done a really good job with that. And the 1080 version 14 is just a solid, comfortable, plush shoe.
One other I'll throw in there in the mix, Saucony Triumph 23. So Triumph 22 got a huge upgrade with the Power Run PB foam, and I think a lot of people were interested in it, but when they got it on, it was either a love or a hate. I honestly liked it. I didn't mind the extra weight. Some people thought the shoe was too heavy. Now with the 23, they got the lighter Power Run PB, so it shed a few ounces. Still a really nice foam. And I think the thing about the Power Run PB foam, it's a beaded PB foam, so you get that durability. So I've put hundreds and hundreds of miles in the shoe, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, if you want durable, Saucony's done a very good job with their midsoles. They're doing a really good job. So if you're looking for durability, yeah, definitely, that's a good choice. The next up is max cushioning.
All right, my favorite category.
You know this for the most part because nearly everyone in here has max in its name. So it's pretty much easy to figure out.
Yes.
But my choice for number one is the Cybertruck of running shoes. It is the Glycerin Max from Brooks. I like that shoe quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before, but last time I saw Chris, who owns Naperville Running, he was asking me what I was running in, and I said, the Glycerin Max. He says, me too. Yeah. And we're two guys that get a chance to run in everything, and so that says a lot. It's not for fast running, but just something to log easy miles in. It is great. The other choice I have, and I haven't personally run in this, but I've talked to a few people that have, is a Vomero Premium. Yes.
I have ran in that shoe.
Yeah, and you like it.
I do. I'll preface this whole category because I really like this category because the fitter I get, the more miles I start doing, the body starts to get a little bit more beat up. So once I start going 70 plus miles, I'd like to have just as much cushioning on my feet, at least half the days a week, save my body.
Yeah.
All these shoes are going to be well over 40 millimeters. And I'd say the shoe that I probably ran the most the last couple months, More V6.
Yes.
I've always been a More fan. I loved More V4. I liked More V5. And More V6, I think, takes some elements of both of them. Really soft, really plush. I had to actually use them when I was out of town one day for a workout, and it's not a fast shoe.
No.
I kind of struggled in that workout getting going, but then the next day I used it in a long run, and then I remembered, yes, this is why I brought it. It's just soft plushness. It feels great mile after mile. So that's a shoe I really like, and I think people who are fans of the More series, if you've liked the last two versions, you're still going to like V6. Glycerin Max, I mean, it's a slam dunk. Brooks has been so safe for so long, and now it's funny when they decide to take a little swing, everyone gets excited. And
I know, and the other thing, too, is I look at that shoe and I go, why can't you do that with other shoes? But that's just me. Two other models that I'll mention is the Saucony Guide 18 as a...
For which category?
For max cushion.
The Guide?
Yeah.
Or are you talking Guide or Hurricane?
No, the Guide's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I always forget. Yeah,
they switched it.
The Guide has made that transition, and it is technically now...
Right, and it's a stability version.
Yes.
And the next one that's coming out after this, I would have named it something different, but it is going directly after the Bondi. So if you like the Bondi, you like something a little bit lighter with a little bit different foam and a lot less expensive, the upcoming guide is where you want to go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
The other one that doesn't get much attention, we saw a lot of them, is a Puma Mag Max.
Yeah.
That's a really good shoe.
I mean, just coming back to Puma is doing great things with this nitro foam, and they tweak it for all the different versions. And I think the Mag Max is it's a sleeper. Every single person who I've talked to has tried it, has loved it, and
it's just getting it on people's feet.
And it lies really, it takes like the elements of what a Bondi should be in theory. But if you're a fan of the Bondi, the Mag Max beats it in like every category.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So do you have any others in that?
I think that's the majority.
Okay.
We hit the good ones. Again, there are so many great shoes.
There's some fantastic shoes, but these are the ones that stand out in my mind.
Definitely.
And the final one in the daily trainers is energetic.
Yes.
And I would say if this is the category that I would consider, if you're a runner and you want a shoe to do everything, this is the category. Like the standard daily trainer is fine, but it's nothing to get excited about. This is if you were a high school kid running cross country, you had to do everything, this would be that category shoe. And so these are some of the models that when my buddies who coach high school say, which shoes do I tell my kids to buy? I tell them the Asics Nova Blast 5, the New Balance Rebel 5, and the one that is, I would say, my modern interpretation of let's see, the Saucony.
The Kinvara?
Yes, the Kinvara.
Yeah.
The modern version of the Saucony Kinvara. I don't know how I forget the Kinvara because I'm 62. Legend. But the Skechers Aero Spark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Lower profile, fun. And by fun, I mean it's lighter. It's got spring to it. It's not very expensive. Is it the best shoe in that category? No. But is it just surprisingly good? Yeah. And I think that when the Kinvara came out, it wasn't the best thing out there, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
It was lower profile, it was less expensive, and you could run fast in if you wanted to.
For sure. And I think this category, like you said, it could be a great high school runner, but just anyone who's seeking a bouncy, fun experience, something that can handle almost any run, very versatile, and a great price point. All these shoes are very, very reasonably priced.
Around 140.
Yeah.
140 to 150.
Exactly. And the Rebel V5 has been the shoe that I've really liked really over the years. And even though it's changed quite a bit, I think V5 I'd say it's maybe one of the most democratic ones in terms of it's got a lot more foam, still very fast feeling. I'd say now where maybe past ones maybe leaned a little bit faster towards workout. This one still does, but just leans a little bit more towards, being able to use for daily use. And then even going a little bit further, Nova Blast 5, I think that is just, it to me, it's almost like I sometimes wonder, why do we still have the Cumulus? I get that that's gonna be that more generic, standard, almost just basic feel.
It's a franchise.
Yeah. Where the Nova Blast is just a lot more fun. The geometries offer a very propulsive feel. The foam is bouncier. It's got that Blast Max, so it's very, very soft. Those are probably the two that stand out to me.
And the other thing too is they tend to look young.
They do.
And the colors and everything, but they're a much better running experience than a walking experience.
Yeah.
That's what they're for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, maybe we haven't given a whole lot of love to Hoka so far, but you can't forget the Mach 6.
Mach 6 is solid.
It's right up there. Supercritical EVA, a little bit firmer supercritical EVA. So if you're looking between Mach and Rebel, I'd say if you're looking for something a little bit firmer, maybe a little bit more stable, the Mach is a good
choice.
And it's very light.
Yeah,
all these shoes are...
The one knock I would have on the Mach is it tends to run on the narrow side.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. One other I'll throw in the mix, Neo Zen.
Yeah.
Mizuno is back.
Yeah.
Mizuno is making some really, really great shoes, and the Zen shares features with the Vista, but no plate.
Yeah.
A little bit, a little bit faster feeling than the Vista. And
right.
it's just it's a solid shoe that I think actually has been overshadowed a little bit by the Vista, but I would definitely recommend the Zen for someone wanting just that bouncy, fun, versatile shoe.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next
All right.
pillar,
All right.
which is performance trainers. And we've taken it upon ourselves to classify them one of two ways. One, to make a long run easier, and one to make workouts, faster runs, tempo runs, and intervals faster.
Yeah.
They offer a good amount of support, good amount of cushion, but are they super shoes? No. So they straddle the line between daily trainers and super shoes.
Yeah.
So this is starting to take off. And on the long run side, the shoe that just got introduced is pretty much the top of the heap, the Asics Mega Blast.
Yes, we've been having a hard time keeping them in stock.
Yeah, it's an excellent shoe. I mean, it's light, it's bouncy, it's cushioned, it's everything.
I've heard a couple influencers already call it as their top shoe of the year. I've tried it on. I've gotten some very initial miles, and just what I've felt so far, you're right, light, bouncy, highly cushioned. You look at the specs, and it's just like a leader in every category. I had someone text me the other day and say, is that shoe actually 7.8 ounces? Did you measure it right?
Yeah, it's
it
7.5 or 7.8 ounces. I mean, for a
45 millimeter stack height.
For a long run shoe, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a racing flat from a couple years ago.
It's inherently stable. Yeah, you're right. Like, it can do everything you need to go those longer distances, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a stripped down race day shoe. It feels very solid on foot. So I think it is going to be that perfect long run day shoe, but you could use it for daily training. You could use it for some workouts. And you can kind of do a lot with it. And I think it's going to be hard to beat that shoe right now with anything else we say.
I think, much like you said, the difference between the Vomero and Vomero Plus, the Mega Blast versus the Super Blast is the same thing. The Mega Blast is a much better shoe.
Yeah, but I think with that being said, we can't knock the Super Blast.
No. I'm just saying the Mega Blast is a better shoe.
Yeah, and the Super Blast is another one in this category. A great shoe. It's got the FF Turbo Plus. So I think to differentiate the two, the Mega Blast is going to use the new FF Turbo Squared. That's going to be their latest, greatest, softest, most energy return. FF Turbo Plus is what's used in the Super Blast, but still an amazing
It's
foam,
a very good shoe, yeah.
And we're still selling them really well. And you do get a slightly lower price point. So if you want to save a little money, you still want a great shoe, Super Blast 2, great option.
I really like the Neo Vista.
Yeah.
Mizuno Neo Vista.
Most people do.
The second one is a little different than the first one. The first one is very, very bouncy.
Yeah.
Like very bouncy. Like very fun. The one thing that chaps my head about the shoe is a pain in the ass to get on your foot because that stupid booty thing. But in talking with Mizuno people, they say, well, the shoe's clearly not for you because I avoid the shoe just so I don't have to try to deal with putting it on. Once I get it on, though, it is a great shoe.
I think that's a common theme we see with those uppers, with those booty fits. It's a love-hate relationship, and I've grown to accept it. I would be curious to see what it would be like without, but the Vista 2, you're right, bouncy, soft, fun, a lot of foam underfoot, but it just makes easy running feel super easy.
And I will say this is another, I keep kicking a dead horse, but the Neo Vista is not a shoe to walk around in.
No.
It is not a good experience. But when you run in it, you go, how in the hell am I going to run in this thing? And then you start running, you go, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
This is really a fun experience.
Yeah.
So it's one of those shoes that even though it's a pain in the ass to get on your foot, it's one of those shoes that will get you out the door.
And it's crazy to think it's a 51 millimeter stack. Not that long ago, like I don't even think people thought over 50 was a feasible stack for a
training shoe.
For a training shoe, and now it is, and you really, as much as it does feel very cushioned underfoot, it doesn't feel unstable.
No, it's not like the original Strong.
No,
not at all. It's stable, and I need stable shoes.
Well, in talking about the original Strung, should we talk about the latest Primex Strung 3?
Right, which is an improvement over 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And an improvement, but also different. Very bouncy, decently soft. It's got the top plate with the bottom rod. It works as like a leaf spring. It's a cool shoe. I think, again, like it's more of a niche shoe. It's not going to be a shoe that I would choose to wear every day, but I do think it's unique that I bring it out every once in a while for maybe a long run, maybe like a workout that I don't care about going super fast, but a lot of foam, a lot of cushion, and just a bouncy experience.
Yeah, it's a good experience. It's just different.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else in that category?
I think that's the main ones.
Okay.
The only other one that I'll say, we can bring up Super Comp Trainer V3.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's got the Peebo foam. I think bringing that one up, it's more, I'm excited for some things we've seen coming with the next iteration.
Right. And I heard from the guy who was behind it in Eugene at Nationals, and he told me that this upcoming Super Comp Trainer is fantastic.
Yeah.
And he came up with the Rebel, and he came up with all the Super Comp stuff. He knows his stuff. So he said this thing is fantastic. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I had to bring that up just to give the slight tease to what's to come.
Exactly. So the next category in the performance trainers is speed or interval. And this one has a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
And the previously mentioned shoe of the year, and I would say it is a fantastic shoe. And when we first saw it, we told the manufacturer, you're not making near enough of these things. And we were dead right on that thing. It is a Adidas Adizero Evo SL. That is a very good shoe.
It's a very good shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, you look, just before we even tried it on, we looked at the specs.
And you go, there's no way, not this price.
They're not there. You can't mess up with this. And then when we got on our foot, it just lived up to the hype.
Right.
It's,
the foam,
the weight, the stack, everything about it. It's a shoe that when you always hear people say the jack of all trades, this really is. And you mentioned earlier some shoe reviewers saying that this is like the best shoe of 2025. And while I don't think you can say one shoe is the best, I would say, is this maybe one of the most impactful shoes of 2025? It's up there.
It's pretty freaking good. And I mean, it's just the price, what you get, that I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
I really can't. And most people can't either. I mean, it's if it came out, 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been the top racing shoe on the market, or one of them.
I mean, it's crazy. And I always hear brands say, oh, we can't put this in this foam or do this in that at that price point. And then Adidas does it. And now I'm wondering, how are they doing this?
I don't know how they're doing it. One that kind of gets forgotten, but it's still a fantastic shoe from my perspective, is a Nike Zoom Fly 6.
Yeah.
It's a really good shoe.
Yeah. The Zoom Fly, I think, gets forgotten sometimes because it went through a very rough spell year after year after year.
It just didn't live up to the thing. And, I would say once we get past the slow shoes, Nike's missing the boat. The racing flats are good, but, this whole thing, like this Fly really should be the Pegasus Premium or something like that. Pegasus is supposed to be a really responsive line. It isn't. It's disappointing across on every measure. It just doesn't measure up.
And I think I don't want to downplay the Pegasus line because Pegasus 41,
I know,
Pegasus
we
Plus,
sell a lot of
Pegasus
them.
Premium. We sell a lot of them. They're all fine.
Yes.
But Nike, in my mind, should be the leader of performance.
Right.
And
we get the Vomero Plus, and Vomero Premium, which are leaders in those categories. Yeah. We have the Pegasus, which is blah. The Pegasus Plus, which is really blah.
Don't even get me started.
And the Pegasus Premium, which is like I call it a fashion trainer. Yes, you can run in it. Yes, people like to run far in it and all this stuff. But I would argue people buy it because it looks the way it does.
I've talked with a lot of people that bought it mainly because of the looks and they wanted to walk around in it. And I think once they did and started running in it, they said it's actually a decent running shoe.
It's better than I thought.
But I still think for the expression of Pegasus Premium, that's that ultimate like responsiveness, it should maybe have a little bit less weight and be a little bit bouncier.
It should feel like the Zoom Fly.
Yeah, I mean, and ASICS really should be going after, in that category something, like I don't think that there's any reason why Nike can't make, a extremely bouncy, extremely, efficient shoe that It doesn't make sense that they're not leading.
No, I know. Anyways, enough of that. But it's much like how I think this is a stereotype. But on shoes, I think of them as fashion trainers. Mm-hmm. People, if I'm on a flight and someone's my age, if they're wearing ons, they want to look like they're 40, not 60.
Totally.
It's not a comfort thing. It's a fashion thing first. And I can run in these things. Now they have a couple models that are really good, but by and large, that's not why you buy an on shoe.
Yeah. Let's move. We talked Evo SL, but I think because that shoe is so good,
right? We forget some of these.
You sometimes forget some of the other. Adidas has a lot of great shoes, and the Boston 13.
It's really good.
A really good shoe. And I think sometimes it's hard to figure out which shoe might be the right one for you. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I almost feel like you just have to try them on and actually experience what that underfoot feel feels like. I think the Evo is more fun, but I think the Boston 13...
it has rods, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
it has
so
the energy rods.
Right.
It has not full Light Strike Pro.
Right.
So maybe a little bit more stable. But it's really just going to come down to personal preference.
Yeah. And, the one that basically started this category, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 5.
Yes.
It's a really good shoe. In my opinion, the Endorphin line's getting a little tired. It's still a really good line, but you see what's coming down the pipe from different people, and Saucony needs to get their act together. I'm not saying that the shoes are bad right now. They're very, very good.
Very good.
But you're looking down the road and you're going, okay, we got to get on this thing. But the Endorphin Speed 5 is really good.
And I think that maybe is one of the issues that Saucony has faced is they've had no competitors in this space.
And now you have, we still have a lot of shoes to go over in this category.
Yeah, and again, almost the original Super Trainer. You had that full-length Power Run PB foam that ran throughout the shoe, and it's made small improvements over the years, but nothing revolutionary. So again, it's still a very good shoe, but in my mind, Saucony should be a wake-up call that you gotta.
It's a kick in the butt. This next one for me is if they didn't screw up the second version, the third would be a lot more popular.
And I know exactly what you're going to say.
The Hoka Mach X3.
Yes.
I know we still have the X2 on sale, but the heel counter is an issue on this thing, on the X2.
Yeah.
And I think it just turned a lot of people, including a lot of people that reviewed it online, off about the shoe. And the X3, if it would have come out a year ago, would have a jump on a lot of these other shoes. As it is, it's still a really good shoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Mach X2, I found very few people that didn't have little issues with that heel. Yes, you can tape up your heel, or some people, maybe it doesn't affect them as much as others, but everything about that shoe was great on paper, and you felt it. And I remember my first couple steps, I was like, this is it. And then after maybe a half mile in, my heel was starting to get a little scraped up. Yeah. So X3 now has fixed all those issues.
Yeah, the heel's,
It's bouncy. It's fast.
It's a good shoe.
It can go long. It can go short. It can kind of do it all. And I think it's one of those shoes that we talk Evo SL. This is a shoe that's very close.
It is, and it's in this category. And it's in the discussion. It's just I'm just complaining because last year. Mm-hmm. I don't know why they came out with it. They should have just pulled it and said, come out with it 6 months later and fixed it. Yeah. But another one that I think gets forgotten is Puma Deviate Nitro 3.
Yes.
Very good shoe. Excellent.
Yeah. It's hard because when you look at every segment, Puma is doing really well. And I think over the last year, you're hearing more and more people really taking Puma seriously and understanding how good their product is. And I would say the Deviate Nitro, very similar. If you like the Endorphin Speed, I'd say you'll like the Deviate Nitro. But I'd say Deviate Nitro is just a little bit more. If we're looking on a spectrum, Speed is going to be just a little bit faster. Nitro is going to lean just a little bit more towards daily training. So if you're looking for something maybe not quite as fast, but you still want that bouncy, fun feel, Deviate Nitro. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you want something crazy right now in this category, probably the the most radical geometries with a really bouncy foam, the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Flash 3.
Yeah.
Not a shoe for everyone.
No, not at all, especially with that heel bevel.
Yes. It's, again, crazy geometries, but...
once you run it, though, it's good.
Yeah, especially if you're moving a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
you're
you need to be moving
runner.
quick. If you're plopping instead of popping, it's not for you.
It's not.
No, especially if you're a really heavy heel striker and going at a slow pace.
Yep.
That's going to be a horrible experience for you. One that is, and I'm not going to say this is at the top of the list, but it's a very good shoe, is a Topo Spectre 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the foaming is very good. It's an excellent shoe. It's just going to get forgotten just because it's not better than anything here. It's not super exciting, but it is a very good shoe.
And I think Topo is always the one that comes out when people say, all these shoes, these more performance-oriented shoes, tend to lean a little bit narrower, especially in the toe box. The Topo gives you a lot more room, and a lot of people that have been fans of with Ultra for years, Topo just gives more options. And I think when we talk about a fun performance shoe, Ultra maybe not quite where it needs to be now, but Topo is a great alternative.
Yeah, and they make some fantastic shoes, and I think the Spectre it gets lost, but I think it has a PIBA, like it has PIBA in it, like real PIBA.
It's a P-Bax powered midsole.
Yeah.
So it's not even just a PIBA based. It is P-Bax Arkema foam.
Yeah, I know. It's the original stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty high end. It's a pretty high end shoe.
Yeah. I will say the foam in that shoe leans just a little bit on the firmer side. Not a bad thing, but just something to keep in mind with some of the other.
It's not going to be like the original Nike, the 4%. That was just a marshmallow that I don't know, it's trampling kind of thing.
Yeah.
You got anything else in there?
No, I mean that was definitely our biggest category, but it makes sense because it is the most exciting. It's right in our wheelhouse, the running warehouse customer wheelhouse, and again, when we talk about standard daily trainer as maybe a great first shoe, this is going to be a great shoe for people who are a little bit more experienced. They know what they want, and again, it's fun. It's versatile.
Yeah,
it does the job.
If you've been running for a little bit and you get these things on your feet, you go, holy moly, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Our final pillar are super shoes. I think most people know what a super shoe is.
Yeah.
Foams, plates, run fast. Durability isn't an issue.
It's the category that changed the race space back in 2017. And when it started, all we had was the Vaporfly, and wow, have we come a long way.
It's a long ways. We have a lot of shoes in this category. But we split up two ways. One is low stack and one is high stack. And the reason we've done that is some people say, well, it's for shorter distances. Some people prefer a low stack for a marathon.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you what to use. But the other thing is low stack tends to be for things that involve turns, that sort of thing.
It's definitely a better experience. The lower stack are more nimble, but like you said, yes, they're low stack, but they're still going to be far, far more cushioned than even the highest cushioned marathon trainers of not long ago.
Right. They're really good shoes. They're just not as fast.
Yes.
No one's nailed that yet.
Yep.
But the two I have in here are the Adidas Takumi Sen 11 and the Nike Streak Fly 2.
Yes. I agree that I think those two are leaders, and Streak Fly just in terms of weight. I mean, I think we've got that shoe at mid 4 ounces or so. Let's see, 4.5 ounces.
Right.
We've got a 26-22 stack. So, yeah, fairly low. I mean, this is basically a track spike with a little bit extra cushioning, but it is aggressive. It is fast. I'd say a great road mile shoe, probably the best road mile shoe on the market, but still a great option for 5K, 10K. Me personally, I don't think there's going to be many runners taking this the full marathon distance just because of how aggressive it is.
Maybe some 80-pound Japanese.
Maybe. I'm not going to say no, but it's a fast shoe.
Yeah.
And then Takumi.
Yeah, it's been around forever. It's just a fantastic shoe.
Yeah, and I think with version 11, it actually did make a pretty big step from, the last couple versions have been good, but this one, it was the first one when I got on my feet and I'm like, oh, I am actually going to start using this for my track workouts. It's fast, it's low to the ground, it's got the stiffening elements that make it feel aggressive, and it's just like when I think of lower stack shoes, I think one of the big issues over the past couple years has been you put less foam in the shoe and you don't get that kind of magic super foam experience. You get that now with the Takumi Sen 11. And I think those two are my leaders.
There's not a lot in that category.
No, I mean, the only other shoe that maybe can be in the discussion, but I still don't think it lives quite to those other two, would be the SC Pacer.
Yeah.
We're seeing some New Balance athletes. I know M. Sisson was wearing that Pacer quite a bit. I think at 7.4 ounces, it still misses the boat a little bit in weight.
But it's a little bit more stable.
It is.
Yeah. So
and it is going to have a little bit, I'd say in this category, it's going to lie on the higher cushion side of the low stack category.
Right. It's still a really good shoe. It's a little bit on the heavy side.
Yes.
That's all. Then we get to our final one. The one that all excitement's about is the high stack super shoes.
And
we have a lot in this category because there's a lot of really good stuff in this category.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally talk about every brand because every single brand not only has one, but it has multiple great shoes.
In this thing.
Where do we start it? Do we start it at the pinnacle? Do we start it?
Oh, let's start with just, like the A's.
Okay.
A6 Metaspeed Sky, Paris. Those are fantastic.
So we got the Sky and the Edge.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sky and the Edge. Yeah, and then
sorry, not Paris, Tokyo.
Tokyo
Is going to be. It is a little confusing.
I know it's confusing.
The Tokyo is going to be the latest.
Yeah.
And wow, did they make a huge performance upgrade with the foam that puts them both in the mid 5 ounce range.
Right, and that whole Metaspeed line, and the next shoe is the Metaspeed Ray.
Yeah.
What you get. The value you get for the money is off the rails.
Yeah.
It is. It's industry-leading stuff for the price.
So when we had our original sell-in meeting with these shoes, and they said we've got these new Metaspeed shoes, and we saw the Sky and the Edge at 5.5 ounces, we thought, this is it.
Yeah.
You guys crushed it. And then they said, but we have another shoe. And we're like, well, how can you get lighter than that? And then when we heard about the Metaspeed Ray at 4.5 ounces, $300. So the only other shoe that really compares with the Ray is the Evo. We'll get into that later, but the Evo's close to $500.
Yeah.
The Ray at $300. It's soft. It's got this new foam in it. It's got full length flight foam leap, and it's a slightly tweaked version in the Ray that just makes it an incredible experience. I will say, I've had some people reach out to me and ask, which shoe should I go? Should I go with the Sky, the Edge, the Ray? I think it is going to come down to personal preference, and the Ray, again, is not a shoe for everyone. It's squirrely, it's soft, it's technically over 40 millimeters.
Right.
We measure it close to 42. They do some unique things with the heel geometries to keep it technically under 40 millimeters for World Athletic, but it's an elite level shoe, and I'd say
if you're not really efficient, this isn't for you.
Most runners under 230, I think, will enjoy it, but there is a spectrum. Some people that are very efficient runners that maybe are a little bit slower might still like it, and there might be some faster runners that say, you know what, it's not stable enough for me. But again, options.
Yeah, just as far as what you get for your money, it's a pretty big deal. Next in the A line is Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 4.
Yes,
that isn't so bad, and then the Pro Evo 2. Those two shoes are fantastic.
Two great shoes, and I think Evo 2, of course, we talked about the Ray. The Evo 2 is the only competitor in, I don't know what we call it. Do we call these new hyper shoes? I don't know, but they're that pinnacle level super shoe, sub 5 ounce, max stack. And I mean, the geometries, I'd say, I don't know if you've actually gotten an Evo 2 on your feet, have you?
Yeah.
I mean, the geometries in that thing, if you were just walking around in them, you'd
No.
No. But once you start running quick, you feel the efficiency benefits. And the Pro 4, I don't want to discredit that shoe because it is still really, really fantastic. And I've talked with some Adi pros, and there's not necessarily a consensus of which one is better because we're seeing pros use both. So it's just going to come down to personal preferences. I think the Pro 4 will be a little bit more stable, but it comes at a little bit more weight. So it's going to be trade-offs, but both are built similarly. So I have talked with a few people that I just keep saying try them both, see what you like, and you'll know, but you can't go wrong with either.
Either one. They're both great. And then continuing on with another German company, Puma DV8 Nitro 3.
Yes.
And the Fast R3.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What's there to say? I mean, great foam.
Right. The Fast R3 is fast, like really fast.
And I would even say, too, with that shoe, yes, maybe it is very light. It's in the 5-ounce range. Maybe not have that full 1 ounce that the Ray and the Evo have, but just in terms of how they constructed that shoe with the geometries and the foam, I'd say it's right up there in competition as the fastest shoe on the market.
The fastest shoe on the planet.
Yeah.
And then if you need something a little bit less out of control, the Nitro Elite 3 is really good. It's a fantastic shoe. And I don't know, I would say if I was a 3-hour marathoner, something 3 to 4 hours, I probably lean more towards the Elite Nitro Elite 3.
Yeah, and I think from a lot of the testing we've heard from Puma with their pro athletes, the athletes are testing better than they ever have with the Fast R3, really securing it as one of the fastest shoes on the market. But at the same time, some athletes are still leaning towards the DV8 Elite 3. So it just shows that even if maybe you test better in certain shoes, sometimes you should go with comfort. And that's where the pros are using both just based on their own preferences.
Yeah, listen to what the little man inside you says. And then, we have the Nike product too.
Yes. And I think this is an instance of, we're not talking about Nike race product quite, a couple years ago, it's all we could talk about. It's all you would see on race starting lines. And that is changing, not because the Nike product is bad, but more the other product has gotten really good, and Nike hasn't been innovating quite as much as they had maybe a few years ago.
Yeah, and I would say that, if once they put their attention like they have with the Vomero line into the Pegasus and into the rest of their line, they're looking pretty good. The potential's there. There obviously is. But I would say that the most impressive thing I've seen over 2025 is just Nike and the standard daily trainer, the premium daily trainer, and the Max Cushion. Really just impressive.
Because for the longest time, all we could say was Nike only has race shoes, and that's now no longer the case. The daily trainers are great, but with Alphafly and Vaporfly, again, we're still seeing a good amount of them on the starting line, and they do the job. Vaporfly a little bit less stack, Alphafly a little bit more. Get a little bit too excited there. A little bit wider platform. You've got the AirPods, so they both have their own unique feel. And again, you can't go wrong with Nike. I mean, that Zoom X foam is tried and true. It's tested, and there's a reason why all the top athletes in the world are still running very fast in the Nike product. One, they're great athletes, but two, the product delivers.
And on the daily trainer side, they're very good values. What Nike's providing is a great value. So on the fast side of things, we have some brands that are really, I'd say, ahead of the industry. I'd put Puma in there, Asics in there, Adidas as the top three in the fast. If you want to do fast workouts, if you want to do tempo runs, if you want to do racing, those guys have a product for you that is industry leading. I would say Saucony's in there as well, but it's aging. We need to see some new stuff if they're going to stay in that conversation.
And we did foreshadow last episode that there was some stuff we saw from Saucony that gives us hope that they've got some really cool foams.
It's not in this category. Well, you ran in the shoe. Okay, the one, and we'll bring it up right now. It's a fantastic shoe. I think it should look more modern, but that's me being Grumpy Joe. You ran in it. What category would you put that in?
I would put that in probably your premium daily trainer is my guess. I need to look at the stacks. It might actually go in the Max Cushion because of how high it is. But I think to character or to classify or to describe what it feels like, soft, bouncy, fun, overstacked, and it reminds me in essence of what I thought the Mega Blast might feel like. I think the Mega Blast ended up being lighter than I thought it was going to be, but maybe not as soft. Whereas I think this one, it's a little bit heavier than the Mega Blast, but that like soft, luxurious experience. Right. And then the bounce you get, that energy return, it's not going to be as fast as a Mega Blast, but I think just that like first experience you feel in it is going to be unlike anything you've ever ran in before.
It's a really cool shoe. Some of the other ones that we're looking forward to, the new, actually, I find myself, I don't know, the new Nike Structure.
Oh, wow.
It's either the Premium or the Plus. I forget what it was.
Okay.
It's not the Structure that's out now.
Are we even allowed to talk about this?
I don't know. Maybe we can't. Can we?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I think maybe we'll also foreshadow. I think next episode maybe we'll come out and talk about, because by the time our next episode comes out, it should be right around the running event. So we're going to be going to Texas to look at all the shoes. So I think maybe next episode we can start giving a preview of what's to come. But also
over the next coming weeks, we actually see the lines from everyone.
Yes.
We haven't seen everyone.
We have not yet.
No, we've seen a few people.
So we might get in a little bit of trouble with the next episode sharing too much, but
I would say, from my opinion, and you could agree or disagree, but from top to bottom in all different categories, I would say the brand that's doing the best is ASICS.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean,
with every single category, there might be one or two categories where it's not really a player, but I mean, just in terms of the ones that matter, they're on fire.
100%, and that's the thing. It's just like ASICS. We go back to 2018, 2019,
and they were stuck in canal water.
We were a little worried.
Not a little worried, a lot worried. They sucked.
And what a just absolute like comeback story. I mean, this is just unreal what they've done in every category. And you're right. If I had to pick one brand that you said you can only use this brand for across the board, ASICS is it.
That's it. And we recently did a video on the Blast series. That was very well received. It was so well received that I received emails from top brass at ASICS.
Yeah.
And one was Chris Ekman, who is one of the guys behind their shoes. And he says, I have 4 prototypes to show you.
Whoa.
I just got them back from Japan.
Okay.
And our friend Jeff Gray has been testing these models down in Santa Barbara. And he says, these things are awesome.
Okay. So there's no slowdown.
There's no slowdown. And it's really awesome what they're doing. They're organized way differently than every other brand. And it's just that they're firing on all cylinders. They're coming up with new categories of shoes in categories that don't even exist anymore. Don't even get me started on the Malcolm Gladwell's spaghetti sauce thing. If you want to see what I'm talking about, it might even make sense. Is go to TED Talks or whatever those things are. Look up Malcolm Gladwell and spaghetti sauce. It applies here.
What do you think the odds are that we get Malcolm Gladwell on the podcast? Should we say if this podcast gets a certain amount of likes, we'll maybe make this happen?
Well, I communicate not a lot, but I have communicated with Malcolm Gladwell on email.
Okay.
So I would probably recognize him in a restaurant or some such environment. He would not know who I am. But I am good friends with people he competed with in high school.
Okay.
So we have this idea of inviting Malcolm to go to Division I cross-country nationals with us. Invited him last year, and he gave me some lie about, talking about a book tour, some crap like that. And I said, yeah, right. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, he had some other tipping point book that he had to, promote for some reason. Yeah. I guess that's his job. But anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that whole thing. But
well, we were talking about the brands that, ASICS across the board.
Right.
And I would say, too, the brand that I think still has a comeback story to be told is Hoka.
Yeah.
Hoka was innovating for so long. And, over the last couple of years, they've done fine, but just not to what I would hope for.
Yeah.
When we talk about, we just talked about our super shoes. We didn't even mention Hoka. The CLOX, I think, was a step in the right direction. It was unique. I will foreshadow again, we saw the next version of that, and
it's very good.
It's very good. So maybe Hoka is a comeback story. The verdict is still out.
Yeah, it's one of these things that I don't know how to describe it, but you have people that are product people, product first, and then there's people that are business people. And the business people tend to look at, how's our stock price looking?
Margins.
There's margins, but it's also, I think the stock market works in the sense of what's happening now versus what's going to happen in the future.
Sure.
And so that's how it reacts. And then you have people in charge of the company, and they're, shareholders want to know what's going on now. They don't really give a flying flip about what's going on in 3 years.
We need that quarterly report to look good.
Right.
It's all about, you're right, the stock price in the very near term. But look, it doesn't really matter if we're not looking a few years down the road.
Well, that's our job, is to look down the road and go, this is where we're hitching our horse to this cart, or a cart to the horse, something like that.
Yeah.
We're hitching horses and carts together. But, this is the stuff we get excited about.
Yeah.
It's just like one of the things that I play with is, okay, Danny Orr, who was at New Balance, who in charge of most of their innovation and so forth, is now at Brooks. And I always felt that Brooks is, I would use an example of the Hyperion Max 3. I run in that, and I think it's not aggressive enough. For the category it's in, it's fine, but they could have just gone a little bit more aggressive and given me a little bit more, or a lot more. Yeah. But they didn't. They just played it safe. And Danny's not necessarily play it safe kind of guy, so it'll be interesting to see how he functions in that culture.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they do very good stuff, very dependable, fits great, the quality's there.
Yeah.
It's very reliable.
If there's anyone at Running Warehouse who we trust, it's Danny. We've seen over the years we worked on with him on a lot of projects, a lot of video projects. Yes. We launched the 5280 with Danny, and who saw the 5280 coming, a low to the ground, carbon plated mile super shoe? New Balance was the first. So I think with Danny's experience, I'm hopeful that Brooks can kind of come out of its shell a little bit and start playing with some fun stuff, because Brooks has proven they make good things. They just need that little extra push.
What they need, in my opinion, they need the Hyperion to really be like their F1.
Yeah.
Like, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much we sell, this is what we can do.
Let's keep your Ghost safe.
Yeah, keep the Ghost safe. I'm not saying do anything to that.
Yeah.
Keep the Glycerin Max, your Cybertruck. And I'm sure they sell a heck of a lot more Glycerin Max and Cybertrucks are being sold at the moment.
Yeah. They might be similar price points now.
Something like that. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we have for people this week.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to do something similar, maybe every 3 to 6 months, depending on when we feel it's justified. I don't know that we'll ever do this is the best shoe of the year.
Yeah.
But I think we can do, silver, gold, bronze for each category, or something like that.
Totally. And I think too, it's funny. We bring in all these amazing guests, and it's always fun to tell the stories. But weirdly enough, these best of, where just me and you talk shoes, tend to get the most views. So one thing I'd say is, if you do like this episode, you like this style, let us know in the comments below, and definitely let us know if we missed anything or if we're wrong, because we're not right on everything.
No, we're not right. And the thing is I think we're fortunate from our perspective. We get to see pretty much everything of significance in the industry.
Yes.
If you look at our site, we have stuff like Speedland. We have the normal, right?
Yeah.
Like the NVIDIA of running shoes. We have high low. We have stuff.
Yeah.
So we see everything, and I think we have a pretty good perspective on what's going on.
Yes.
But it's not the be all end all.
It's not.
Yes. So let us know.
Yeah.
Tell us if we're full of crap.
Totally. And one other thing to mention. So the last episode we talked about the Metaspeed Ray. So the contest is still living live.
Right.
So the last episode we said, if you're what size was
it's an 11.
It's a size 11. It's this is actually my pair.
I know
that I've
it's
been
not this one. This one's all jacked up.
I've been racing in this, getting good miles, but I can tell you this is my shoe, my racing shoe this year. If you would like to get a size 11, we're giving a free pair away. The last episode we said, give us the craziest comment, the most likes. We'll leave it up for one more episode. So if you'd like a Metaspeed Ray, size 11, let us know the craziest
thing. And we'll close
thing.
this off, a week after we launch this one? Or how many days after?
Yeah, so by the next episode,
Yeah.
we'll have the winner for this.
Okay.
So we'll announce it in the next episode.
But if we okay, got it. I understand.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're on weird
different- we're on different
timelines here.
Just a little bit of background on the free pair of Rays. It's a size 11, and it was returned, which means somebody tried it on.
Yeah.
Our returns department tried to clean it and has a small blemish on the insole. So I'm not saying it's a brand new pair, but it still has a tag on it. Still has the original box. It hasn't been, as far as I can tell, worn in any sort of running capacity.
No.
So it's pretty much brand new. And it's a $300 pair of shoes for free. There you have it.
And not only just a $300 pair
Right.
of shoe. I mean, it's
one of the best shoes
one of the
on the
best.
planet.
And
Even if you haven't run in a shoe and you think, here's your opportunity to get a pair and try it on and wear it around Costco, and people point at you and go, what the hell is that?
Yep.
Why are you wearing a $300 pair of racing shoes in Costco? But I was there yesterday buying essentials, Parmesan, olive oil, that sort of thing. And I did see another gentleman in the On racing shoes. There you have it.
Yeah. The final thing I'll leave off with, we're talking all these free shoes. I think it's also worth mentioning we have the contest basically going year round. Every once in a while, I'd say every, 4 or 5 episodes, we just pick a random person who has subscribed to our channel. They're liking our videos. And this week we had Peter Morante. We'll put his name up across the screen. He liked, subscribed, sent us an image on Instagram verifying that he did it, and he's leaving with a free pair of shoes. It's as easy as that.
Yeah, and when we say free pair of shoes, it's what we have on the website in your size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'd keep saying, keep liking, subscribing to our channel.
Yeah.
Send us a DM showing you, proving you're doing it, and you'll be entered in.
And it gives us positive reinforcement to continue to provide this entertainment that we do like every other week or so.
Yeah. Because when we don't get views, we get sad.
Yeah, we get really sad. Anyways, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.